Okay, Rick Bowman here, and we're back with the second video in How to Buy a Car. And in this one, what I'd like to talk about is before we can really lay out, okay, what works in How to Buy a Car, is we got to know what doesn't work. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that where you get your advice from is very, very important. This is my opinion, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that differ, okay, with this, but if I want advice on how to do something, such as paint the house, which I talked about a couple of days in the video, I'm going to go get an expert, okay, somebody who knows about house painting. Now, granted, I could probably go ahead and I could paint the house myself, and the results that I'm going to get out of that are going to be to the level of my experience, okay? So I guess what I'm really trying to point out is that before you decide on where you're going to get your advice from and your knowledge on how to buy a car, is make sure that you're getting it from somebody who's qualified. Now, who's qualified? Okay, we've talked about a couple of things, that don't work, and I'm going to give you some examples probably in the next 3 or 4 videos that I'm going to recommend that you watch. But you've already seen, if you watched the previous video on who is Rick Bowman, you know a little bit about me, and I've got over 20 years in the automobile business. Who better to teach than somebody who's been doing it for 20 years from the other side? I already know what works and what doesn't. Okay, I know, as being a finance department director, a general sales manager, and a sales manager, desk manager, even as a top salesperson, what motivated me to be able to sell a car below cost. So the first point that I want to make is when you're looking through the internet, and that's where a large source of free advice comes from. And I'm not here to bash anybody by any means, but the first thing I do, check their credentials. Have they ever been in the car business? Have they ever sold a car? Because if you haven't sold one, it's pretty hard to explain to somebody on how to buy one. I hate these terms with the hidden secrets and the tricks. I hate the word scam because it's not a scam, okay? It's lack of knowledge. And like I said, there's a few of you that probably won't like me here in the beginning because it's going to appear that I'm taking the side of the dealership, and that is the farthest thing from the truth. The biggest issue that I've seen with people when they try to go out and buy a car is lack of knowledge. And I guess what I'm trying to say is they fail, okay, because they don't know how the system works. Dealerships don't teach you their selling system, okay? They're not going to. This system's, they've been using this selling system or variations of it for years and years and years. It's not going away. But what I've found is most of the advice out there really doesn't give you an in-depth education on how the selling system works. And the advice that is coming from, I just saw one on the internet, it just blew me away. This individual deals in negotiations with countries for some kind of nuclear, disarmament, and that's what he does. But he's taken his whole philosophy on how to get a country to negotiate on a nuclear issue and applied it to the car business. Now, I don't know. I'm just Ophis the farmer, man, but that to me just doesn't make sense, okay, on how that's applicable. But what I can tell you is that you're in the right spot if you're looking for some really solid car advice that's going to save you some money. And that's my intention, and it's certainly, as I said before, this is a free website. We're not going to sell it. So anyways, the next subject that I'd like to cover is let's start with what doesn't work. If you know what doesn't work, you're going to find it a lot easier to probably move on to what does work, because we'll eliminate all those things that people have been trying for years and years and years. And I'm here to tell you right now, I spent 20 years doing this, and they don't work, flat out. And we'll cover those 4 examples. Now, if you're on our website, okay, you'll see a link below this video, okay, that'll tell you exactly where to go. And if you're not, okay, you want to go to our website, which is www.howtobuyacarwithrickbowman.com. And you're going to see a page that says car buying strategies on the right-hand side. And you want to click on that page. And I believe that there's 4 videos that are up there that will explain exactly what I'm talking about. And thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next video.